What is up, everyone? I am back finally. Just finished up DJing in Nashville, Tennessee. It was absolutely crazy and I had a ball. But good news is I just set up my PC, so I'm going to now be continuing my videos every Wednesday. Well, it's now Thursday. Sorry about that, but it took a very long time to set everything up. I got like a full little couch back here. I got my DJ set up over here, so I got the whole shtick working now. So you can expect a lot more from me in the near future. But without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so I had a request this last week from someone asking me how I make intro edits when there's no intro available. Like if you don't have any sort of outlying instrumental, or if you don't have access to RX8 or anything like that to make intro edits, if you're trying to make them, it can be a real pain. What I did here is I just made a quick example, super short, but it is a really great solution if you're having this issue. So what I did here was I just grabbed a decap loop off of Splice, which Splice, like I told you guys, is a third-party site where you can go and you can download loops and samples. I just did this loop for quickness, just because let's say I'm really cruising through edits and I'm really stuck on making an intro edit. This is how I will make it out of from nothing to something. You can also just get any sort of sample pack, honestly, and then you can process your drums that way, and then you can make an intro edit. I'll actually do that next week for you guys. I'll show you how I do intro edits like this if I don't have already processed stuff. Decap stuff and a lot of stuff on Splice is already processed really well. This drum loop is bumping already as it is, so I didn't touch it. I just did a little auto filter roll off here to help with the transition, and that was it. But I will show you guys next week how I do it with processing to make the drums sound at the same loudness as the song you're going into. So, like I was saying, the only thing I have going on here is an actual auto filter to help with the transition on the drum loop. All I did here was I just right-clicked on the frequency knob, hit Show Automation, and then from 26 hertz all the way up to about 3000 hertz. That's usually where I always end those sort of roll-offs. Somewhere around 3K is a good place to roll off, because you're not totally deading the sound, but you're definitely getting some sort of transition. And then I have effects to help with the transition here. So I have just a little sweep up. Then I actually have a reverb send down here. So this is the return track here. This was in a previous video. I have this template if you guys want it. Just go back further in my YouTube. And I have this template here with the long reverb setting. So I actually just use this here. And if you can't see it, it's under M. If you just click M here on the side, you'll be able to get these return tracks popping up. So I put that all the way at 0. I wanted to really douse it in reverb. So. And then next we have a sub drop, and then I have just a top end sort of impact, and then I just rolled off the low end on that. So altogether, the effects section sounds like this. Now the reason I'm adding the sort of impacts and the risers is to just sort of help the transitional process, because if I don't have this riser going here, it kind of just sounds like you're high passing it out and it sounds a little awkward. It just sounds weird. So the effects really help kind of, I don't want to say glue, but it does help smooth things out, and it makes it a little bit easier for a listener when you're DJing to digest. So if you're making these intro edits and you're making your own sort of intro edits, this is how I do them. If I have absolutely nothing else to work with, if I've done the DIY version and it sounds like crap, and if I just can't chop it up and I can't get my hands on the actual instrumental, this is what I'll do, is I'll make a drum loop, and then I'll just use an impact, and I'll slowly filter in the song here. And it makes kind of almost like a cool break sound, almost like an acapella break, but with the actual original track. So I just grabbed thought shit here, just because I've made like a million edits of it. Just before I play it, I did do a little bit of an auto filter in here. So the impact hits, and then I'm slowly bringing in the track. So right clicked on frequency, hit show automation, made sure that this was a low pass filter here. And then I just slowly brought it up. And then one thing I always do with these filters is whenever I'm done with the effect, I turn it off. And the reason why I turn the effect off is because your filter is still kind of working up here around this 20,000 hertz range. So if you're not like careful, and if you don't like cut off the filter, it can make your audio sound a little bit dull, and you'll be like, why does it sound kind of flat? It's because you probably left the auto filter on, and your hi-hats in whatever song you're editing probably sound a little bit muffled or a little bit flat because you still have that filter going. So when you're done with the effect, make sure it is off when it comes to auto filters.
And if the beat live, you know Lil Ju made it. Hands on my knees, shaking ass on my thigh shit. Post me a pic, finna make me a profit. When the liquor hit, then the bitch get toxic. Why the fuck you in the club when niggas wild? I've been lit since brunch, that shit. Order 42 for the table, let's pop shit.
And then the last thing I did here was I put a limiter on the master, turned up the gain a little bit, to a point where there wasn't any distortion, and then that's how I made the intro edit. Alrighty, ladies and gents, hopefully you learned something new today. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I'm going to finish setting up this office here. This is like the first thing I got ready, record this video, gonna edit it, post it, and then it's back to making sure everything looks somewhat like a home. But in next week's video, I will do this, but I'll show you guys how to work with drums that maybe aren't processed, so you have your own like really nice, compact, and tight drum loop, or when you do these transitional effects and make your own intro edits. But until then, take it easy, tell someone you love them, all that good stuff, and I'll be back soon.